What are you doing with yourself? Why are you the same? Are you tired of getting the same results year after year after year? Bob Proctor, the star of the movie The Secret, says if you want to change, you have to change your paradigms that are controlling you. A paradigm is a bunch of habits. Everything you do is habitual. Your customs, your beliefs, the way you put your clothes on in the morning was taught to you by someone else. Who are you listening to? You want to change your weight, your salary, or your relationships, you first must start with your habits. Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, creator of the Habit Formula, has spent the last few years learning how to have love, health, and wealth. She has the secret sauce to all, and she wants to give it to you for free. Go to thehabitformulabook.com for more information. Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's lunchtime with the Habit Master. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, and I help people change their bad habits. Today is Wednesday, and we're talking business stuff today. Whether you're a small business owner like myself, whether you are an executive or a team leader, the principles that we talk about on Wednesdays can sure to help you and your team members hit your goals, get your profits, increase your commissions, and make this last quarter of 2019 the best ever. Today's topic is demonstrations/presentations. Now, depending on if you have a product, a physical product, or a service, kind of depends on what lingo you use. For myself, I have a physical product, but we call it a case presentation. So whether you call it a demonstration, a presentation, a meeting, whatever you call it, we are going to talk about 5 ways that you can improve the way that you're contacting and demonstrating your product or service to a potential customer, or maybe it is a customer that you already have had previously, but maybe you're giving them information about something new, something different, a different solution, product or service that can solve a different issue that they're having. So we're going to talk about 5 ways that we can improve our demonstrations. And even like for myself, working with patients, when I was doing research on these 5 things, it actually got me thinking about how we go about our case presentation with patients and, taking these 5 steps, we're going to start implementing them. So I hope that you guys get something out of it. And even if you only get one thing out of today's lesson, today's episode, you can use it starting today. Okay, you could go back to your team, you could go back to your employees and say, hey, we're going to work on number 3 or number 5 or number 1 or all 5 of them. Okay, before we get started, I want to remind everybody you can grab a free copy of my book, The Habit Formula, if you go to thehabitformulabook.com. In it, after every chapter, you're going to find exercises that helps you to start planning on what goal and what habits you want to change in your life. If you want to change, as Jim Rohn says, you got to make a change. And to do that, sometimes we forget how, or we don't know how. We get ourselves caught up in our daily activities and what we're doing, and we do the same thing. We do the routines that, kind of gotten us where we are now. What you don't realize is if you want to change something in your life, you want to lose weight, you want a different type of relationship in your life, you want to make more money, you want a better job, you want to move, a bigger house, whatever it is, you have to change something, some type of habit, some type of routine, and then that escalates into the result that you want. And we go over that in this book. This book has completely changed my life. The reason why I wrote it down was so that it can help you. Every single person that is looked at this and has actually filled out the exercises has told me, I've heard the feedback, that it's completely changed the way that they go about goal setting and trying to hit their goals. So I know it works. It's starting to get out there. I've got podcasters that we're going to be doing interviews with. I just sent in another package today to a podcaster of all my materials, and I've got other stuff that's in the pipeline that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Start with the basic book, The Habit Formula. Go to thehabitformulabook.com. It's free. If you really want to dive into the materials, upgrade to one of the 2 products that are on there, one of the 2 programs. One's just a more simple kind of version and one's a really deep dive. So either one, remember prices go up on Friday. So grab one of those 2 products today and get started making 2019 the best ever. So we're talking about 5 ways to improve our demonstration. So I broke down, now everybody presents things differently, okay? It depends what your product or service is. It depends who you're talking to. Is it a business to business kind of thing? Is it a business to customer? There's different elements to it, but I know that there's 3 basic ones that no matter what, everybody has. Now, they're not in any particular order, okay? Sometimes your primary call with a new person, you get some of this information. I understand that, but there's 3 basic things that during some type of presentation or demonstration you go through. The first one is you either show the physical product, you have a video, or some kind of media that talks about your service or product, okay? Or you might have samples of the actual physical product to give them to use, to eat, to sample, that kind of thing. So you always have to have some type of physical communication. So either it's the actual product itself, it's some kind of video demonstrating what it does or what it's about, or you actually have samples or something like that for the customer or potential customer to use. The second thing is you always have a little bit of time for fact finding and Q&A. So a lot of times fact finding you'll get maybe on the first contact with the person. Maybe they called in inquiring information about a certain product or service that you have. A lot of times then you can see if you're on the right product or service that your company gives or has. And, that's the first call. And then the second call, you might be probing a little bit more, maybe giving them options, answering any other questions that they have, and just kind of making sure that your product or service can actually solve whatever problem that they have, okay? So that's the second one. The third one is an actual physical proposal. So for us, we have a treatment plan. I've already talked to them about options. So you can include options with pricing, with specials or coupons or deals that they can have. Buy 2, get this one free. If you buy by the end of September, you get this. Whatever your deal is. You're selling a car. Hey, 2019 models, you can get a good deal on them because 2020 models are coming out. And, we want to push those because they're the newest model, right? The third thing that you can do is you have to have a physical proposal, something written. People always can remember to read a piece of paper with facts and figures on them. How much is, a term? How much do they have to put down if there's some type of down payment? How much is it a month if you're doing some kind of financing, All of that stuff, they're never going to remember that, right? And a lot of times if it is a customer, it's a business to customer relationship, they have to go back to their spouse. If it's business to business, they have a whole, situation that they have to go through, to get things approved. They might have to go to a board. They might have to go to their executive or leadership team and show them your product and service. So if you have a written proposal, and you should be giving a written proposal to everybody, no matter what, no matter how far that you think the call has gone or the demonstration or meeting has gone, always include with them some type of written proposal, because you never know. They may not be ready for the solution or product that you have for them right now. But maybe 3 months from now, it's the perfect fit. It's the beginning of the year. They're now looking, they're budgeting for that kind of thing. Or maybe by the end of the year, they're budgeting for next year, for 2020. And if they have your written proposal, they have all the stuff that they need, right? And then they can go to whatever board or whatever that they need to get approval, and boom, you're in. Okay? So 5 ways that we can improve our demonstration or presentation. Number 1, start with the end. What I mean by this is, if you've got a demonstration that lasts for 20 minutes, right? I mean, come on. 20 minutes. The likelihood of that customer or business person or whatever, whoever your end client is, of them actually paying attention to you, decreases the longer you go. Some people, they set up their demonstration presentation with the outcome at the end, right? I'm telling you, you're losing them, okay? You need to be very tight. You need to be, very concise and precise with what you're telling the person, and start with the end. Start with the outcome. This product solves your problem. You already told me that this was your problem, and it's going to solve this. It solves this by okay? They're already saying, oh my gosh, hey, we've got the car that you want. It's red and blah, 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 and here's the price. Man, can you see yourself? You told me you were going on vacation and you were going to drive up the coast. Man, I could totally see you in that new car, right? And then all of a sudden they're starting to think, oh yeah, I could see me in my new car too. Now they're interested. Now you're going to say, I'm going to show you all about it, right? Show them a little bit of the features. Show them, what it can do, that kind of thing. Always start with the end, with the outcome, with what the solution to their problem is first. Then you gain their attention. If you do it the other way, I'm telling you, you're going to lose them. And a lot of times they won't even care about what the outcome is, because they're on to whatever else. They're thinking about, what's for dinner. They're thinking about the next meeting that they have. You got to keep their attention. And to do that, you got to start with the outcome. Start with the end first. Number 2, don't give them too much information. So I'm going to say, don't overwhelm. I know in dentistry, any kind of medical position, we want to show our intelligence to our patients and show them that we're capable and we know what we're talking about. The problem is, a lot of times if you're using big terminology with the patient or with the client, they don't know what the heck you're talking about, right? They want to know, does it solve my problem? Can I get it in this color? What's the price? They want to know simple things. That's how you need to talk to them, in simple language, okay? Don't overwhelm them and just spew out all this information. It's going to take too much time and you're going to lose their attention, right? Which is what we talked about in number 1. You got to start with the end. But second of all, if they want to know how your product works, they can read the manual, right? Most people do not care. I remember, this is an example. I remember I was first starting my practice, and another lady that she started her practice too, down the road. She's in the same area, and we went to school together. And we started doing a little female group, study group. And we had a guy come in that was selling a particular brand of drill, okay? And he's spouting off all this stuff about RPMs and, da-da-da-da-da. And her and I looked at each other, and there was like 3 or 4 other women in the group. And I raised my hand, and he goes, yeah. And I go, you're talking to women here. I go, we do not care RPMs and polarity and all this stuff. I go, This is what we want to know. How does it feel in our hands? How often is maintenance? How expensive is maintenance? How, often should we maintain it? And how much is it? And he looked at us and he goes, oh my God, this is like the easiest presentation ever. And I said, okay, we just want to know, does it work? Give us a demonstration. In about 10 minutes, he had things set up. We were using his product. We were seeing how it felt. I don't know how many other people bought, but I have used that handpiece now. Let's see, I'm going on 20 years, so I've probably used that handpiece for 17 years. Now, of course, I've had upgrade and stuff, but it's the same brand for 17 years, right? It solved my problem. I saw the benefits in it. He got it done in 10 minutes. I was already purchasing because I knew that I had a problem to solve and he had a product. I didn't need to know all the other stuff. That's where the scientists come in. They and the engineers, they already figured it out. I don't have to do that. I just get to buy it and use it. Okay? Keep that in mind as, you have to think as the end user. Is it solving my problem? Yes. How? It does this, this, and that. Just give them a couple of facts, right? That's all you have to do. You don't have to go into all the scientific research and this and that and all the engineering complications and all the patents and all that stuff. They don't care. Is it going to solve my problem? Is it going to, let's say it's, give me time, make me more money, allow my employees to do da-da-da-da-da, right? That's what they want to know, and that's what you, as a salesperson, needs to be, communicating with them. You don't need to be just spewing all this stuff to make you look smart. They already know you know what you're talking about. You're a salesperson, you're a doctor, you're a dentist, a pharmacist. They just want to know, is it going to solve my problem? And all you have to say is yes, why, this and that. That's it. Okay, so don't overwhelm them with too many facts because you're going to lose them. They're going to be gone. Okay, number 3 is focus on pain points. It's a known fact that people buy things, buy solutions, buy products to avoid pain, to avoid loss of time, to avoid, I don't have enough employees. Okay, well, here's a temporary solution for that. Maybe with technology or, whatever. I have a problem, which is the pain point, and your product or service can help with that, can solve it, right? That's what you need to focus on. Benefits are good. Features of the product are good, although you don't want to overwhelm them. You just want to give a few, okay, because they can read all about that online or whatever. What you need to know is, hey, you've got a problem with X. My product or service solves the X. So for me, I'm a dentist. You're in pain, right? That's a pain point. You can't eat. That's a pain point. You look like Billy Bob. That's a pain point, right? My solution can solve all 3 of these things, or 2 of these things, or 1 of these things, okay? Whatever their main problem is, my product can solve that. And that's where you need to focus on is their pain points. They've already told you, okay? At some point during one of your conversations, and a lot of times it's the fact-finding conversation on the first call, you already know what their pain point is. That's what you need to focus on at some point during your demonstration or presentation, because then you've got their attention. You know that you started with the end, you're focusing on the outcome, and you know that it's going to solve their pain point, okay? Number 4, you got to control the demonstration. You want to keep it short. You want to keep it tight. You want to keep it precise, right? You don't want to go into too many benefits. You don't necessarily need to be convincing or use psychological tactics, right? You're focusing on the end first. You're giving them a few features, a few benefits. That's it. You're focusing in on pain points, how your solution can, get rid of the pain, get rid of, the loss of time, the loss of energy, whatever it is, loss of money. You need to be able to control the demonstration. So an easy way to do this is you talk about price after you've established value, okay? You can establish value through a little bit of the features, but really the value is with their pain points, how much money, time, effort, whatever is causing them that pain. If they are losing $1 million a year because they don't have the technology to follow up with customers, and you are selling a technology that follows up with customers, it costs them $1 million. Do you think that your $100,000 program is worth it to them when they can make 10 times the amount in 1 year by using your solution? Of course. That's easy, right? You talked to them about their pain points. You presented the price. You told them if they don't do it, what it's costing them. They already know what it's costing them. You can do a solution and they can make 10 times the amount for it. So you have to build the value of your product. The value is you're getting rid of their pain points. You're getting rid of the lost income from not having your solution. It's easy. It is so easy. Don't overthink it. What's their pain point? That's the value, and you need to harp on the value. Features and benefits are okay. Harp on the value that your product or solution brings to them to get rid of their pain. Okay? Another example is start with the outcome first, right? We talked about that in point number 1. And then, know what their problems are, which is their pain points, and focus your value on that. The 5th thing you can do is always use some kind of third-party data. This is where research comes into play. I'm not talking about actually reading all the research and whatever. You just need some stats, right? According to the American Dental Association, 65 million Americans have 0 teeth by the time they turn 65. If you're part of that, I have a solution to that. I just use third-party data. It's a known fact that 65 million Americans have 0 teeth by the time they turn 65. Okay? If this is you, that's a pain point for you. You want to be able to chew. You want to be able to play with the grandkids without scaring them. I got a solution for you. Oh, that perks your attention up, right? What's the outcome? How, I won't overwhelm you with that. We have 3 options. You could do implants. You could do something, actually 2 options. Implants, or we make you something removable. What would you like to do? Okay, how much? Well, if we do this, this is the amount. If we do this, this is the amount. Pros and cons, right? And then you make a decision. You write up a proposal, a written proposal, and then you go for it. You've solved the problem. You guys can do the same way. Use third-party data. Just you don't want a lot. You just want a few studies. Hey, the example we used before, with a follow-up solution to your company, right? It's costing you $1 million a year not to be following up. Well, according to, whatever agency has to do with, business statistics, 84% of businesses don't follow up with customers more than 1 time. And this is costing them X amount. You can find a study anywhere on that, okay? It's called Google, right? Just type in Google. All the stuff I find for these things every single day, Google. Ways to improve demonstration. Boom, I can find information about that, right? And it's awesome ideas for me and my business. So I'm learning and I'm helping teach you guys at the same time to build good habits, right? Use third-party data. You only need a couple of studies. If you want to, text it to them, provide a link. If you want to actually copy, the little study or, whatever, or a graphic or whatever, copy it and print it out and give that to them. Leave it with the proposal so that they have some information about what your solution is. And it's third-party data, so it's not your company. It is actually some kind of research facility, scientific organization, or an association that has to do with your type of industry, right? When you do that, people kind of look towards that information as a more authority, and especially if it's printed and written down, okay? People believe what they see, not necessarily what they hear. So if you have, information that is from some type of study, from an association or something to do with your industry, they're going to see that your solution is valid. Okay? So 5 ways to improve your demonstration. Number 1, start with the outcome. Start with the end. Okay? You already know what the problem is. You've already talked to these people before. This is the demonstration presentation time. Start with the end, okay? You don't want them sleeping and hold off to the solution till the end, because they're going to be snoozing and you're going to lose their attention. Keep their attention. I can solve your problem by doing this because I know that this is costing you X amount of time or X amount of dollars, whatever. Then they can kind of see themselves, yeah, that would be nice if I could solve this problem. Now you got their attention, okay? The likelihood of them getting something from you, purchasing something from you, goes up. Number 2, don't overwhelm them. You don't have to spew every fact. They already know you know what you're talking about with your product or service, because you're a salesperson. I'm a salesperson. They know. I have doctor by my name, right? DDS, Doctor of Dental Surgery, by my name. I went through 8 years of school after high school. I know what I'm talking about, right? I don't have to spew off all these statistics and information or whatever. I don't even have to use big words with people. All I have to do is, let's do a filling. It's plastic or metal. Which one do you want? Tooth colored, silver. That's what I have. What do you want? Okay? They can make a decision. Don't overwhelm them with your knowledge. Okay? They can read about how your product works in the manual or some type of study that's online, okay? Just give them a couple benefits, a couple of pros and cons, whatever. Just a couple, though. Don't overwhelm them, or else you're going to, just like the first one, you're going to lose their attention. Number 3, focus your attention on the pain points. You already know what the problem is, which is what you led with, that you have a solution to the problem. Focus on the problem. Dive into the problem a little bit deeper. Now, still keep it short. You don't want your presentation being too long, right? Because you'll lose their attention. But focus on the pain points. Because you don't have this, it is costing you this. They already know what it's costing them, but reiterate it. Remind them. It really is costing you this. It could be, and then kind of relate it to something else. It could be costing you this, this, and this. In the future, it'll cost you this, this, and this. And then it just blows their idea of it being a present problem into being a future problem too. The likelihood of you making a deal there goes up. Number 4, make sure you're in control of the appointment, okay? You want to have a little bit of Q&A. You want to have, discussion on the price. You have to build value first before you can go into price. So if they're starting to get you off your track and kind of get you out of all of this, order of information, just take control of it. Take a step back and say, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. I want to tell you why we need to have this outcome, because this pain point here is costing you X amount of dollars or time or money or, whatever it is, okay? Make sure you stay in control of the demonstration presentation. And the 5th thing is always, always, always have some kind of third-party stats, some kind of research, an association that has to do with your industry, some kind of scientific study, anything that can help you solidify and quantify the problem, okay? The pain point. And what that study has found has, 65% of businesses that don't do this, which is the pain point, have this implication later on. If you have those studies, you've printed it, you have, you can leave that with the customer, or you can just send them a link to that information. You are going to validate your solution, your outcome, and the pain points, and they will then realize that you have the beginning, you have the end, and you're the middle. and they need you to get to the end point. So remember these 5 points. I know for me, I learned a lot, and we're going to start implementing all 5 of these to kind of see. I'm going to do a little experiment here in the next week to see if I can get bigger cases coming out and to help more people, right, with their problems. If I keep it tight, if I don't overwhelm them, and I can use some American Dental Association stuff, facts and figures on there, maybe we can get a lot more patients to help them. Okay, so I hope this helps everybody. Remember, you always want to keep improving, especially your demonstrations in front of potential clients or clients that you have already, but you have a new product or service that you want to introduce to them. So that's it for me. Make sure that you go to Spotify or iTunes if you want to listen to Lunchtime with the Habit Master episodes. Also, go to my YouTube channel. I got 11 subscribers. I would love to have some more. We've got all kinds of videos, not only these Lunchtime with the Habit Master shows, but I have all kinds of other videos that I'm starting to introduce about habit formation, about getting goals, setting actions, doing all kinds of things to help everybody make this year the best year ever and to live the life that they want. So remember, if you want to dive into the habit formation, go to thehabitformulabook.com and grab yourself a free copy. That's it for me today on Business Wednesday. Let's build good habits together. I'll see you guys tomorrow.